Hi everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. Today we're at Jimmy Grande Ford. We're going to take a look at the Ford Raptor. Now this is a 2021 model, but we're still going to take a quick look at it and answer the question, well, potentially, is it better than the RAM TRX? Well, I've driven both, and I can definitely say that the TRX is fun. It's very fast, but obviously more expensive. Even though the base price for these two trucks, the RAM TRX is going to start at a little over $70,000. The 2021 version of these Ford Raptors will start at a little over $64,000. So let's take a look at exactly what we have. Iconic Silver is the exterior color, and honestly, I think that's a pretty cool name for the color of a Raptor. These are rather iconic trucks, I think you could say. Taking a quick look here at the headlights, just a menacing look on the front end all the way around. And even though these lights right here are DOT required, it still really sets the truck off, I must admit. And hey, when you find a TRX stuck in the mud, there's those tow hooks you can pull them out with. No, we're not trying to give the Ram trucks a hard time, just having a little bit of fun here. But one thing that I like to show anytime I feature one of these trucks, something that a lot of you may not know you have, it has to do with the front camera right here. Let's hop into the interior and I'm going to show you something. This happens every time, no matter what you do, when you use the windshield washer fluid to clean off the windshield, just like this, okay? So that's what you see, but what you may not see is what happens right here. I'm going to do the same thing again and look at that. That's the front camera washer. Did you know that your truck had such a thing? Often in my videos, I will get comments from people who have had trucks just like this and other F-Series pickups, and they'll say, I had no idea. Very, very interesting to know about. And just an overall aggressive look with the way everything is built here, even with the graphics package that comes for the hood and for the sides of the truck. You're going to have those 315/70 tires wrapped around the 17-inch wheels and the side steps here. One thing I really like about these side steps, they have the grip tape on them, kind of like what a skateboard would have, even though it's a little bit different. It's not really grip tape. It's more of a spray-on finish, but it's similar to grip tape is probably a better way to put it. Before I get hit in the comments section by the YouTube correction Nazis that wait in line for things like that, so I'll correct myself on that. And we continue to see the graphics package here. And for me personally, yes, I really like the American flag right here. And that's not the only place you're going to find that. When you open the interior, you'll also find it right here on the side of the dashboard. Just a fantastic look. But obviously, the most important thing about this truck, besides the fact that it has a 5-link suspension, is the fact that you have what you do under the hood. Let's take a look at exactly what that is. Under the hood is going to be the 3.5-liter V6, 450 horsepower, 510 foot-pounds of torque, mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission that definitely allows this truck to get down the road with absolutely no problem. And just so you can see here, what about MPGs? Let's see if we can do this without any issues of glare. 14 miles per gallon city, 18 on the highway, 15 combined. And if you're really careful, you have to be really careful. Right here, Ford says per every 100 miles you drive, you should go through 6.7 gallons of gas. That's if you're really careful. And common questions that people always have, one of them is, are there turn signal indicators built into the side view mirrors? Yep, they definitely are there. And I always like to point this out on these Ford vehicles when I feature them here on the Vehicle Visionary YouTube channel. Make sure you set the keypad right here. There are so many advantages to that, to the point that if maybe you wanted to go jogging and you didn't want to take your remote with you, there is the remote and all of the features and functionality on it, by the way. Remote start, you can lower the tailgate with the remote. Pretty simple to figure out. But if you left that in the truck accidentally, or maybe you went running and left it there on purpose, you could still lock the truck and everything be safe. When you get back, you can open it with the keypad. So a big advantage right there. We took a look at the graphics package here on the side of the bed. And then of course, you'll have what we have back here with the Ford stamped in, Raptor logo, And of course, F-150, one thing we haven't done yet as we take a look at those rear towing hooks and also the exhaust pipes. What does the exhaust note sound like on this truck? Obviously, the Raptor is going to have solid functionality. Let's take a look at the bed here. And one thing that's interesting, of course, you've got the power tailgate here. I'm going to let that come down. And let's talk a little bit about something that's very interesting here. This truck can tow up to 8,200 pounds, and 1,410 pounds is the payload. Not by a lot, but it does win out over the TRX, as 8,100 pounds is what it is said to be able to tow, and by a scant 6 pounds, 1,404 pounds is what it can haul. One thing the TRX doesn't have is the Ford F-150's workspace tailgate, at least not in 2021. You can see everything that's here. And I don't have everything set up, although I can put my phone right here and let you kind of have an example of how that works. You can put a phone or a tablet there or whatever you want. You also have space for pencils right here, obviously, a cup holder right here, and obviously the built-in ruler. You also have the clamps that are set up here to be able to put things onto the tailgate to cut out on the work site, out on the job site. I am a little surprised this model doesn't come with a bed liner, but obviously that can be added. You can see you also have a power outlet right there that I don't know if I can reach. Let's see if I can. There we go. I can reach that. So there you go. You got actually dual power outlets in this case. Tie down points. And if it's a little bit hard to get into the bed, well, here's the easy solution for that. Very easy to use. If you've never used that tailgate step right there, well, I just showed you how easy it is to put in place. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Okay, we're going to do that, and then we're going to do this. Let's see, that's a little harder to do one-handed. Okay, we're doing this in real time, just so you can see. Now it's not so hard to put everything back in place. One thing that is definitely not missing here is interior space. Whether it's for storage, you have the upper and lower door bins, but there is an insane amount of leg room in the back seat here. So rear seat passengers are going to be very, very comfortable. And something I like, if you happen to have somebody who is the middle seat passenger here, there is no transmission tunnel to deal with right there where their legs would be up real high or anything like that. And just very comfortable seats back here. What about on the rear of the console? Besides those cup holders up there, you have the dual air conditioning vents and multiple options for connectivity. If I can open that, USB ports and a household power outlet. One more thing before we end this area as well. There is the panoramic sunroof. Nothing new, but something that I do think is a great touch. And we'll give fair time to the front seat as well. Starting here on the passenger side, you still have the upper door bin, but larger lower door bins right there. Power seats for the driver and passenger. Gonna find the bucket seats with the Raptor logo right here. And Ford Performance on the door sill. Something we haven't looked at yet. The upper and lower glove boxes, more storage. I said there was a lot of storage within the confines of this Raptor, and there definitely is, but I think it's time to take a look at the main area of business. Let's take a look at everything from the driver's seat. Looking in through the driver's side door, not much different than what you have on the passenger side, although you do have settings for seat memory, 2 settings right there, and then you can control the functionality and position of those power side view mirrors. Controls for all the different lighting all around the truck. There is a lot here. You can also adjust the position of the power pedals down there. See if I can just show that to you. Hopefully you can see that moving on the screen. And a power adjustable steering wheel, tilt and telescopically adjustable. And while we're at this position, I can show you those nice large shifter paddles. That is something I always like, to see large shifter paddles like that. And so obviously we want to get into the truck. I'm going to just go ahead and hit the ignition right here, kind of like starting up a jet or something. I feel like there should be a bunch of noise. Well, there is kind of a lot of noise, I guess. And just to let you see, a lot of really nice graphics here as far as what goes on the instrument cluster and what goes on the infotainment screen, even the center stripe here on the steering wheel, so you can know when you are centered up. Kind of racing based there. Really not something you necessarily need on the street, but it is what it is. One thing I would like to see on more vehicles, I've seen it on a couple that I've reviewed in the past, but you don't have it here, is that instead of having the shifter paddles mounted to the steering wheel itself, mount them to the steering column so they're always in the same place. It just makes it so much easier. And I realize that a lot of people would say if you're a really good driver, it shouldn't matter. But when you're turning the steering wheel and you need to change gears, sometimes it's just easier not to have to think about that. But I realize some of you great drivers out there don't have to think about it. So it is what it is. And I like the fact that Ford pre-wires several switches right here for you to be able to put in more lights on the truck or a winch or whatever it is you may want to do. And here is Ford's infotainment screen. In my opinion, one of the easiest in the industry to use, to learn. For those of you who maybe haven't ever had this kind of technology before, well, it's really not that terribly bad. There are some vehicles where it's a lot harder to use than it is here. So don't worry if you're stepping into a Raptor and saying, man, I just don't want to have all that technology. It's more stuff to break down. That's what a lot of people will say. And then you can go in and look at a lot of things here. And you don't have to go into reverse is one of the great things about most modern day vehicles. Some of them you do to be able to see the camera views, especially the rear view camera, but obviously here you don't have to do that. And then there are multiple views. Let's take a look at exactly what those are. Just cycling through. And then we showed you earlier the front camera washer, which is always a great feature. I haven't seen that on a lot of vehicles. Then you have your 360-degree view. You can push that magnifier right there with the plus on it, and then push these, and it allows you to zoom in on whatever part of the vehicle you want to. You zoom out right there. So now we're going to go into reverse just so you can see the rear view camera. That's a nice feature. You can zoom in behind you if you need to. And everything here for towing modes, all that good stuff. Here is the control center for the dual zone climate control and more connectivity. There is no shortage of connectivity. A 12 volt right there, another household power outlet, and even more down here. There's your wireless charging pad that you can conceal away slowly if you want to, but you can see how that works. More connectivity right there, and heated and ventilated seats. That's always a plus. Now, something interesting that happens here. Let's go into gear. I don't know if I can show this the way I really want to. I just don't know if I have the angle. Yeah, you should be able to see that. So what I'm going to do is I'm in drive. I'm going to push the button to shut the engine off. And what will happen? The shifter automatically goes into park. By the way, I know a lot of people are going to say, you don't need a rear seat reminder. But here's the advantage of that. That rear seat reminder can be used as a multitasker. You can use that to let you or remind yourself of a briefcase or whatever might be back there that you need to make sure that you get. So I'm going to move this water bottle out of the way. That did show you how the bottles fit within the cup holders right there. If you haven't seen this before, well, this is an interesting feature. I'm going to push this button right here and the shifter will fold flat. Now that's not just something to entertain your friends or if you're really bored to entertain yourself. This is what it makes possible. Really a great multitasking surface here. Not service, surface, with a lot of services, I guess you could say. But you can put your laptop up here. You can eat your lunch here when you're out between races or when you're out on the trail or whatever you might be doing, maybe the sand dunes or whatever the case may be. You can use that for so many different things. That is a really nice feature. And then we'll just go ahead and open the nice and large center console. There is so much space in there. I think I could possibly say hello and get an echo. I don't know, but we're not going to try that today because I don't have time to edit that in. But the best part about the Raptor, well, obviously taking it out on the road for a test drive. Let's do that right now. Okay, guys, I hope you have a good view. We're going to get out on the road with the Raptor. The exhaust note from the interior is absolutely awesome, even for a 6-cylinder. I mean, wouldn't it be great to have a V8 under the hood? But I can't complain about this. I know a lot of people say they'd like to have a V8. But even without the V8 here, this thing sounds really good. It sounds mean, and it definitely gets down the road without any trouble at all. And there's a lot of things that I know we didn't touch on throughout the video. So while we're driving down the road, you have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and I've shown it in other videos, so a lot of you may have seen it before. But within the owner's manual, if you're buying a truck like this for the first time with all this technology, here is a great thing to know about. Within the owner's manual that's in the infotainment system right here within this screen are videos, tutorial videos that will show you how to do pretty much anything and everything you would want to do with your Raptor. But I know what I want to do. Wow, that is pretty amazing. I mean, I'm not even trying to go as fast as I'm going, but wow. So we're going to let some of this traffic pass right here. By the way, a little driving tip for you. See where I am right here where I'm turning around? This is where you're supposed to be. Not over there, but over here where I am right now. So obviously a lot of people don't know that, but just a little tip for you. Here we go. Quite a bit of fun to drive these Raptors, and there is a sport mode that you can drive in that'll make it even more aggressive than what I'm doing right now. Speed limit 65 on this road, getting up to 65 miles an hour, no problem at all. Now, like I said earlier, you do have those lights on the front end that are DOT required because the truck is wider. It has to do with the width of the truck, so that's why those are there. They do add a nice look in addition to being there for safety purposes or just really government requirements ultimately, but it is what it is. But when it's all said and done, these Raptors are very, very nice, practical, fun to drive. Now, if you compare it to the Ram TRX when it comes to overall horsepower, yeah, there's really not much of a comparison. But one thing that definitely is different here, well, the F-150 Raptor 0 to 60 is in the mid 5-second range. That's not bad. It's said to be in the mid 4-second range with the Ram TRX, although I have nearly been in the 3-second zone with a TRX doing a 0 to 60, 409 or 4.09 seconds to be exact. That was pretty impressive. I could have actually upped the launch RPM and been down in the 3-second range. Maybe we'll get to do that sometime in a future video, but I'm gonna tell you what, I really don't want to take this Raptor back to the dealership, but unfortunately I can't keep it all day. But hey, Ford, I would love to have a demo vehicle for a while. That would be fun. Not that I'm dropping a hint. But tell me down in the comments if you plan to buy a Raptor, whether maybe you're going to see if you can get a better deal on a 2021, because I'm sure there's obviously a few more out there besides this one. It is available here at Jimmy Grande Ford in Stonewall, Louisiana, so make sure to call Jerry Grant and tell him that Tom from Vehicle Visionary sent you if you want to buy this one. Or maybe you're going to buy a 22. Tell me the details. What color, interior, exterior, all that kind of stuff. I want to know all about it. Got to say a special thanks to my friends here at Jimmy Grande Ford for loaning me this Raptor for the day, and all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out another of the videos that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.